So, you've just collected your new Tesla, and you're excited to start your electric journey. But you've just looked at that huge screen and got overwhelmed, asking questions like, how do I adjust the climate? How do I use Netflix? And most importantly, how do I make the car fart? In today's video, we'll have a full look at the Tesla infotainment system and all the features it has. Welcome to Ben Goes Electric. So this is a full look at the infotainment system in the Tesla Model 3. This can also be applied to other Tesla models. So when you get into the car, this is the main screen that you'll see, the display of the car, which you can pan around and have a look. It'll also show you if any doors are open, for example. You can also open the frunk or foot, as bonnet as we call it, or the normal boot or the charge port, and you can lock and unlock the car. You can see here you have a multi-display, so you can see your music, you can swipe to the right, you can see your trip computer, current mileage, and obviously the current drive, how many miles you've done, how long, and then the efficiency of the drive as well. And you have access to navigation, so you can set home and work, or you can click there and navigate. You can then touch here, if I can do it, which will then have your map, which, as you can see, you can go across the whole of the UK. Very fast. Again, you can navigate up on the top here. You can also look at the weather in your area, as you can see, and it'll go through. You can also access your nearby chargers. You can zoom in here, you can see all the chargers. You even click on individual chargers. You can see how many available, the max speed, where it is, and also the prices. You can see where the peak time is and the off peaks and idle fees. And obviously with the speed, you can see if it's a V2 or V3 or even V4 charger. So as you can see, Burton Wood is a V2 charger. You can also see other brands. You can see an Instant Volt here at a McDonald's, or you got EV on the Move, which are shown in red because they support Tesla's plug-in charge system. So you can just plug in and it'll start charging and charge it to your account just like any other supercharger. You can also add on the traffic information, so you can see in the lines where there might be heavy traffic. And of course, you can have it have a satellite or normal maps, which I quite like in satellite. Next, we'll go to the car controls, which are here. So the first screen you'll see is your main controls. So you can control your headlight setting at the top, which usually you leave them in auto, and then you have your auto high beam here. You can fold the mirrors, turn your child lock on and off, window locks, and even glove box, as the only way to open the glove box is here. Next, you have your wiper controls. Next is here where you click to change your mirrors, so you can click that, and then you'll select the mirror you want to use, want to adjust, and then you use the left scroll wheel on the steering wheel to edit that mirror position. Same with the steering. Move the steering up and down to change the steering wheel. Next, you've got your recording settings in your Sentry. You've got car wash mode. You can put the car into neutral with that. And that's about it for the control screen. After that, you've got dynamics. Is where you edit your acceleration. So you have standard mode, which will give you all power that you have in your car. And you have chill in this car. Chill's nice because it just kind of blends the throttle. It's not like as sensitive, but standard for a bit of fun. You've got it all available. In all-wheel drive models, you might see sport here instead of standard. That just means the car has been configured with acceleration boost, giving it a fast acceleration to 60. And in the performance, I think you'll also see you've got your standard, you've got I think standard, sport, and insane on the latest ones. Next, steering weight. You got between light, standard, and heavy. Just how light steering is when you're using it. I quite like light. I quite like a fast steering rack. Then next, you've got auto shift, which will use the cameras to automatically shift the car into drive or reverse. So for an example here, because I've got a car in front of me, I'll just put my foot on the brake and it would automatically assume I want to reverse back, put it into reverse instead of having to use the swipey dandy thing at the side. That's only for Model 3 Highlands, Model Y Junipers, and also Model S and X. Any Tesla that don't have the drive selector stalk, basically. And then you've got Slip Start, which is just for helping free vehicles in snow, sand, and mud, as it shows. Next page, charging. This will show you your current charge percentage, of course, also at the top here. And it's where you can edit your charging limit all the way from 10% all the way up to 100. And of course, it also tells you, obviously, it recommends 80% for daily charging, which is where I leave it. But of course, you can change that to 100 or more if need to be. You can also change the current at this charger. So say, for example, you're at a 32 amp charger, so 7.4 kilowatts, but you want the car to trickle charge overnight because you're there for longer. But for the battery, you can change the amps down. You also schedule your charging, which we'll talk about later because it takes you to that menu, and also tells you where you last charged and how much that cost. And you've also got some supercharger tips at the bottom. Next, autopilot. This car has the base autopilot feature, which is just traffic aware cruise control and auto steer. So you can see here, you can select between if you just want the traffic aware cruise control, which will keep the car a safe distance from the car in front. Or if you want auto steer, which will also use the same cameras to keep the car within the lanes. I have it on the auto steer. And then activation here, you either have a single click or double click. Single click will turn on auto steer if you have it selected. If you use double click to have auto steer, you have to use 2 clicks, and if you just do 1 click, it'll just have traffic aware cruise control. Next, you can choose when you click the activation whether it sets the speed to what your current speed is or the speed limit. I have it as my current speed. And then if you use speed limit, you can have an offset of how many miles per hour you'd like it to be. Next, I've got some safety systems like forward collision warning. By default, it's on medium. I've left it on there. You've got lane departure avoidance, and then you've got have it as a warning or assist you if you leave your lane. I have it as a warning because, especially in UK roads, you have to sometimes go over the dash lines, and then you don't want the car to then pull you back over because it can be quite dangerous. And then you got like obstacle aware acceleration, which again, so if you put your foot down but it knows there's something in front, it will delay the acceleration. And then you got green traffic light chime and speed limit zone chime. Next section, talking about locks. So it's just, you got your phone key and the 2 key cards. You can change your child lock here. I don't have any children, so I don't need it. Again, you can put a lock on the windows. The next one, walk away door lock. So yeah, if you're having your phone key or the key fobs, all you have to do is open the door, leave, walk away, and the car will lock. You'll usually hear the horn beep, which is a lovely feature, so you don't have to remember to lock your car, basically. Yeah, you've got also hands-free trunk, which is a new feature. So if you have your phone in your pocket and you stand behind the trunk, it'll beep a couple of times and it'll open. You don't actually have to press anything. And then unlock on park, again, it'll just unlock the doors when you put the car in park. And then you've got some notification settings, whether if you want it to bing your phone if your door or windows are open. I have it on doors and windows. And then you've obviously got custom lock sounds, like the confirmation. So by default, it'll beep the horn just to know it's locked. Obviously, if you're just walking away, you kind of want to know that the car's locked. But obviously, you can also set a custom sound, which I'll get to later. And of course, another setting, which is close windows on lock. So when you lock the car, the windows will automatically close, which is lovely. Next setting, we've got lights. Again, more headlight settings. Again, I leave them in auto. You've got your rear fog lights there. Automatic indicator mode. I have an auto cancel, especially with the Highland Model 3 with the buttons on the steering wheel. It's very nice that you just have to press them once, and then when you do your turn, they'll just turn off automatically, or even a lane change on the motorway. So yeah, you've got your adapted headlights. So they'll use the matrix technology to blank out part of the beam so they don't dazzle oncoming drivers, which in my experience have worked perfectly, and I love them because it looks like you're using high beam all the time, but other drivers can't tell. Headlight after exit is another great feature. So when it's dark, it kind of, obviously when the car locks, it'll leave the headlights on for a couple of moments, especially when you're walking towards like your door and you haven't got lights outside or anything. It's a great feature to have. Accent lights, again, so in Model Y Juniper and Model 3 Highland, you've got the ambient lights around the car. Here you can either have them on, off, or night only. You can then change the colour setting here to whatever you like. I quite like a nice purple colour. And then you can change the brightness on or off. You've got your dome lights, so the lights above the windows, whether they'll come on or off, or auto, usually in the evenings. And then you've got your footwell lights as well. Seat settings, simple, just how you turn heated seats on and off, and then you can also move the passenger seat forwards and back. You can also do that in the rear display, so it just gives rear passengers a bit more room. On your display settings, you've got your appearance, you've got light mode, dark mode, or auto. Auto will put the display into dark mode when in the evening, because if it's always in light mode, it can be very bright in the evenings. So then this is what dark mode looks like, but I like leaving it in auto. You've got reduced blue light, which again will just reduce all the whites quite down. Obviously removes the blue lights, it makes the screen a bit warmer and less harsh for the eyes. The brightness of the screen as well, I leave it on 100, I like a nice bright display. You've got automatic blind spot camera, which is when you use the indicator. As you can see here, you've got the blind spot camera that comes up. Screen clean mode, if you need to clean your screen, you can put this on. It means that you can't do anything to the screen until you hold this and exit. So if you need to clean the screen from all the fingerprints, as you can see, perfect feature for that. You can lock the rear display. So if you don't want your children or anyone to use it anymore, you can just lock it with that button there. And then you've got your scroll wheel function. So your left scroll wheel, you can change what you'd like it to do. For an example, I've got it on acceleration mode, so I can switch between standard and chill pretty fast. Or you can obviously do your fan speed, you can do display brightness, you can save dash cam footage, you can open your glove box, put the frost mode on, or your steering wheel heat. I have acceleration mode. It just means you have to then dig through the screen settings. It works quite well. You've got obviously your language settings, nothing exciting there. In your text size, if you want a 12-hour clock or a 24-hour clock, I think I'll put a 24-hour clock. Energy display, up here you have a percentage or distance. I have mine on percentage because I believe it helps with range anxiety if you have that, really. It's like a phone percentage. You're working on percentage more than the miles, because watching miles count down, you can get a bit more stressed, but seeing a percent drop every, 10, 15 miles or whatever it is, it feels a lot better. And you don't really need to know how many miles you've got left, because especially when you're navigating on here, it's going to take you to the supercharger. It'll tell you you're going to arrive at the supercharger with 10% left and you need to charge up to 80%. So so change of how you drive, really. You're now working on percentage rather than miles, which I like quite a lot. Obviously, you can change your distance from kilometers to miles and temperature. Obviously, if you're driving in Europe, you can change it to kilometers, and if you prefer Fahrenheit, you can use that, and obviously tire pressure as well. Jumped into schedule before, but you can change each different location. If you want to precondition your car in the morning, or what time you want it to charge overnight. If you've got a low cost energy tariff for car charging, you can set that in here if your charger doesn't do that for you. Next, you've got safety. So you've got Sentry mode, which is on or off. And obviously, you can exclude. I'm just going to turn it on. It gives you a warning and what it's about here, telling you obviously it uses a bit more battery when it's on, and after 20% it will turn off. You can turn it on. You can exclude certain locations, like home, you might not need it on, or your work car park. You can set then the length of each clip. You have camera-based detection, which uses the cameras to detect, obviously, when people are coming towards you. And then another setting so you can view it in the app, which works very well. So I could be sat, I have the car parked in a car park, I could be sat in a coffee shop, and I could monitor all the cameras, including the interior camera of the car, and know that everything's fine. Obviously, dash cam mode, you've got it on off, manual, auto, or on honk. I've got it on auto, so when it thinks it needs to save the clip, you can it'll save it automatically. On honk, obviously we honk the horn, but the issue with that is before you have a crash, usually you'll honk the horn if someone's about to reverse into you. So if you do that, it'll save just before that clip, so then you actually have the accident on camera, which I recommend then using manual auto. You can format the USB drive, which is in the glove box. You can delete the dashcam clips there. And then you've just got some more safety features, like blind spot cameras and warnings, rear cross traffic chime. Allow mobile access and keyless driving, I'd recommend you have it on as well. Valet mode, which is a great feature. So if you obviously leave your car to like airport park in a pocket for you, you can put that on. It will lock the maximum speed of the car and the acceleration. And obviously it'll have Sentry mode on, so you can keep an eye on where your car is. Pin to drive, which is a good feature, so you get in the car, put your foot on the brake, it will then flash up with a pin to put in before you can actually drive it away. So yeah, if someone breaks into your car or even gets your key, they can't actually drive it away because they need the pin. And then the same for the glove box as well, so you can put a different pin if you want on the glove box. Parental controls, got speed limit mode as well. Cabin overheat protection, I have off because you don't really need it in the UK. And you've just got some airbags, security alarm, park assistor chimes. You can lower the stereo volume in reverse so you can concentrate. Go mode is a nice feature, which basically just lowers the volume of all the chimes in the car, because when you're turning it autopilot on and off and all that, there can be a lot of chimes in this car. So that basically reduces the noise of all that. And then you've got driver drowsiness warning as well. Next, you've got service, which will show you all your tyre pressures, which, noting if you've picked up your brand new car, your tyre pressures are usually quite high, so they recommend 42. As you can see, these are about 44, 43. They usually can come up to 48, because when they transport them on ships, especially, so the Model 3s from Shanghai, they overinflate the tyres, so you don't get flat spots on the tyres. So very important is to make sure you deflate them after collection. So when you collect your car, just check your tyre pressures, and if they are above the recommendation, I would say go and get them lowered. Then here you've just got all your kind of maintenance features. You can adjust your headlights, check all your cameras are working, you can calibrate your steering and your seats. You can factory reset the car, check the visibility of the cameras, which you can see no visibility issues detected. And then another feature, allow Tesla to remote start. So yeah, it's a good feature to have, to be fair. And I think most times you go for a service visit, they'll ask you to have that setting on. Next, you've got software. This will just confirm what features you have in the car. So you've got what full self-driving computer you've got, what autopilot package you've got, if you've got premium connectivity, the software version, and if there's an update available, as you can see there is for me, which I'm going to update that, and we'll do that in a future video. Next, you've got navigation settings, so the volume, I have it on mute. Automatic navigation, so it'll know if you're leaving in the morning, it knows to navigate you to work, obviously vice versa, or even if you've got an event in your calendar and that's shared with the car, it'll automatically navigate you to there. Trip planner, which will add supercharging stops automatically if it's necessary. I always recommend to have that on. So, I could just say, route me to Edinburgh. It will. I'll do that right now. So what we can do, we can say, navigate me to Edinburgh. Here we go. So I'll think about a route, and there you go. So it's saying I'm first going to go to Charlotte Richards, and then, as you saw, then up to Gretna Green, and it's also, as you can see, preconditioning the battery for fast charging. So I can hear that wearing the battery away to heat it up, so the car will charge faster when it reaches that charger. I'm just going to end that now because obviously I am not driving to Edinburgh. Online routing, again, it will use obviously the traffic information online and optimize the route, and then you can set how long you want that reroute to save you, and then you obviously got speed camera chime, and then you can tell it if you want to avoid tolls or ferries. Here you've got your trips, so you've got your current drive, you've got since your last charge, and then you've got A and B. So I always set B as a lifetime one because I'd like to know how much total energy I've used, the average consumption, and again, obviously it matches up with the odometer. Which you can see I'm doing probably about 4 miles per kilowatt with this car. This is a all-wheel drive at long range, which isn't too bad. Obviously, be a lot of fun drives and showing the car off to people. More than very efficient driving, but I'm going to slowly get into a bit more efficient driving now. Next, Wi-Fi. So you have it set up on your Wi-Fi networks, so it can do the updates while you're parked at home. Bluetooth, you just pair it to your phone. And you can even reduce the fan speed during calls, so it's not wearing away when you're trying to talk to someone. Yeah, and the last section here is upgrades, but as you can see, no upgrades are available. But here you can probably get acceleration boost or full self-driving or enhanced autopilot. So that is all the car controls done. So the next, you've got your app section here. You've got things like Apple Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, for example. So you can load up your Apple Music here with all your songs. Obviously, can't play anything here because of copyright. You've also work our way down. Obviously, got quick access stuff like your front and rear defrosts, your heating, steering wheel, and seat, climate. You can even look at the rear screen here. You can see what the rear screen's showing. So you can even control what it's doing, which is great. Make sure you see what the kids are up to. You've obviously got your nav, which we're on now. You've got your cameras, where you can have a look at your reversing camera and your side cameras. Obviously, you've got your dash cam, which will show you up like this. This is what it's currently recording. Obviously, energy. So it will show you an energy graph. This is what my obviously prediction is. Obviously, I've just put that Edinburgh trip in, and then you can even see consumption at the moment. So you can see I've currently got a predicted range of 156 miles at 49%, which obviously would give you about 300 miles. Obviously, you've got your phone, you've got your calendar as well, which I've not set up. Messages, you can even go on Zoom, do a Zoom call if you need to do, as you can see. You got theatre. Obviously, when you're parked, you can watch Netflix, YouTube, Twitch, or even look at the tutorials. Obviously, only when you're parked, but the rear screen can do it while you're driving. You got the arcade, so you can play multiple different games. Sudoku and Solitaire, Fallout Shelter and Stardew Valley, Cuphead, which is always fun while charging. You've got your toy box, so you can do a light show, which I'm sure you've seen. You got Rainbow Road, which when you're using autopilot makes a rainbow effect, and you can have the ambient lighting do a rainbow effect. You got obviously emissions, testing mode, which is obviously whoopee cushion sound, and you can do different farts and stuff like that. Very amusing. Boombox mode, so you can change your lock sound and your horn sound, and you can even megaphone, so you can talk within the car and it'll broadcast outside, which is always quite funny. Got Santa mode for Christmas, changes your car icon to Santa's sled. You can even change the colour of your car on this section here with the colorizer. You can, make more audio masterpieces, as it says here. You've got romance mode, which will put the heaters on and do a fireplace. So yeah, you got a nice cozy fireplace here. You can turn off like that. Sketchpad, and you can even put the car on Mars if you wanted to. So a few nice little treats in there. Obviously, you've got a full web browser as well. So it's Tesla. And yeah, like I said, all your music services. You've even got karaoke if you really want to sing some songs. Again, I won't play any now, but yeah, which will display the lyrics on the front and the back. So it's always a bit of fun. And I think that's about it for a full look at the infotainment system in the car, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get notified on future videos. This has been Ben Goes Electric, and I'll join you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.